When you see Hathiram in season 2, हो गया है वो जीवन में आगे बढ़ गया है। जब आप सीज़न 1 खत्म होता है तो हाथीराम की पर्सनल ज़िंदगी में जो बदलाव आए, उसका कोई बाहरी असर नहीं है, बाहर की दुनिया पे। वो आज भी उसी केबिन में, उसी चेयर पे, उसी टेबल पे बैठता है। वही रोज़मर्रा के केसेस हैंडल करता है। बट आई थिंक वो जो सीज़न 1 में जो गुस्सा था हाथीराम में कि उसको कुछ मिल नहीं रहा है, कोई चांस नहीं मिल रहा है।
He doesn't have that desperation of trying to prove him anymore. To see a defeated man still wanting to do the good thing just because, that's the only thing he knows.
One can immediately sense the promise of greatness when two creators with distinct original voices, Sudeep Sharma and Avinash Arun, collaborate. Now, for those who are unaware, Sudeep Sharma is the brilliant writer behind films like NH10, Udta Punjab, and Son Chidiya, and also the series Kora. Whereas Avinash Arun also has an impressive body of work, and he has directed acclaimed films like Killa, Three of Us, and often an overlooked gem, School of Lies. Now, Paatal Lok returns after almost 5 years to the screen and brings back Hathi Ram Chaudhary into our lives. The weary, tired cop at the center of Paatal Lok returns in season 2. A man further worn down by the oppressive system he serves. Unlike the charismatic or heroic police officers often celebrated in Indian cinema, Jaideep Ahlawat's portrayal of Hathi Ram is that of an individual steadily descending into the depths of system, duty, and self-doubt. He's neither a Singham nor a Vijay from Zanjeer. He is simply a cop. It is his ordinariness that defines him, and the brilliance of Paatal Lok lies in its embrace of this very trait, using it to craft a profoundly affecting and politically charged narrative. In this video, let us go ahead and deconstruct the character of Hathi Ram Chaudhary from Paatal Lok. Hathi Ram is not a master strategist, nor he is blessed with extraordinary intellect. He's a police officer who has accepted the grim reality that his career will never ascend beyond a certain threshold. His interactions with his colleagues, superior officers, wife, and son reveal a man who understands his insignificance. His desire for validation is not rooted in ambition but in a deep-seated fear of irrelevance. Yet in season 1, we saw that when the case of a lifetime lands on his desk, he doesn't rise like a hero. He stumbles, he hesitates, he perseveres. His resilience is not romanticized, but it is the very thing that makes him indispensable to the narrative. He doesn't command authority, he merely endures, and in that endurance lies his quiet defiance, where he has always chosen his duty over his job. The title of the show, Paatal Lok, references the Hindu mythological underworld, which is a place of suffering and chaos. Hathi Ram's name itself is significant. Hathi, elephant, symbolizes wisdom and strength, whereas Ram evokes righteousness and duty. Yet, in this world, he is neither a wise king nor a revered warrior. He is an expendable man, relegated to Paatal Lok, perpetually struggling to find meaning in a world that refuses to acknowledge him. The series constantly wrestles with the idea of dharma versus adharma. Where is justice in a world where power dictates the rules? Hathi Ram seeks justice, but every time he comes close to finding the truth, he's reminded that fairness is just a myth. And in season 2, this philosophical battle deepens as he's forced to confront not just systematic corruption, but the legacy of oppression that is ingrained in Nagaland's history. Hathi Ram is a product of a system designed to crush people like him. His cynicism is not a learned trait, but an ingrained survival mechanism. He understands how the law is manipulated by those in power, how the poor and the marginalized are disposable, and how even the police force is merely a pawn in a much larger political game. His moral compass does not point towards an absolute notion of right and wrong. It is calibrated for survival. In season 1, his struggle at home with his son were a subtle but deeply impactful thread. He longed for his son's admiration but always knew that his own life was nothing aspirational. Season 2 amplifies these struggles. His battles are no longer confined to Delhi's underbelly. He is now thrust into a new, unfamiliar territory, the political and cultural landscape of Nagaland. One of the show's greatest strength is its visual language, which constantly reinforces Hathi Ram's place in this world. The cinematography traps him in confined, dimly lit spaces, which symbolizes the inescapable weight of his existence, and he is dwarfed by bureaucratic machinery, crushed by the corruption which he can neither fight nor escape because he's a part of it. And his body language tells its own story. The slouched shoulders, the slow gait, the exhaustion etched into his face, that is not the confident bravado of a cinematic cop, but the physical manifestation of a man who knows the system will never let him win. The handheld camera movements give the series a raw immediacy, making us feel like reluctant spectators in his downward spiral. Delhi is more than just a setting in season 1 of Paatal Lok. It was a breathing entity that shaped and reflected Hathiram's struggles. The dichotomy of privilege and deprivation played out in its newsrooms, in its crime-ridden streets, and its corrupt bureaucracies. Whereas in season 2, we shift the focus to Nagaland, which is a region that is rich with history, conflict, and long-standing socio-political tensions. Here, Hathiram is an outsider in every sense. The murder of a prominent Naga politician drags him into a world where alliances are fragile, power is wielded with ruthless passion, and his investigation is not just about solving a crime, it is about navigating a land where history and politics are inseparable from everyday survival. His dynamic with Imran Ansari, who was once his junior but now outranks him as an ACP, adds another layer of complexity. Ansari's journey from an eager young officer to a self-assured authority figure creates an intriguing shift in power dynamics. Hathiram, who once guided him, now finds himself at a professional and existential crossroads. In one memorable sequence from season 1, Hathiram and Ansari share a moment where Hathi, in a rare lapse, says something he later regrets. Realizing his mistake, he offers a quiet, heartfelt apology in his own way. In season 2, when a deeply personal secret about Ansari is unveiled, another significant moment occurs between the two characters. Hathi, drawing from his rough upbringing and life experiences, admits that there are things that he doesn't fully understand, but he does grasp the core of human empathy and knows what is right when he reassures Ansari that he will always stand by him for that. While the first season used Sanjeev Mehra's case as an entry point to dissect the fractured Indian society, season 2 goes even further. The murder of a Naga politician is not just an isolated crime, it is a thread that unravels a vast Pandora's box of exploitation, political maneuvering, and suppressed narratives. Now, the second season of Paatal Lok retains its sharp social critique while expanding the thematic scope. It is more refined, more action-packed, but still deeply unsettling, which is one of the best aspects of this season. In the show, actually. The setting shifts from Delhi's grimy streets to Nagaland's politically volatile landscape, giving it a fresh visual and narrative texture. The way scenes have been captured by director and DOP Avinash Arun makes you a part of the landscape rather than being apart from it. However, the series is not without a few bumps along the ride. Certain subplots like the orphanage subplot sometimes feels disconnected from its main investigation. The occasional reliance on flashbacks and exaggerated detective tropes risks diluting the raw authenticity of the narrative in general, and yet these minor missteps do little to take away from the sheer brilliance of the storytelling in this show. Jaideep Ahlawat continues to deliver one of the finest performances in Indian streaming history. His ability to convey Hathiram's quiet desperation, his moment of fleeting triumph, and his ultimate resignation to the world's injustice makes him for a profoundly moving character study. He dismantles the image of a principled officer with Hathi's giant ego and "oh, I have to do the right thing at all cost." The character likens himself to an unnamed racehorse, tirelessly racing for rewards he will never receive acknowledgement for, and is depicted as a fool who endlessly patches a sinking boat rather than ensuring his own survival. The series reaches some of its poignant moments when Hathi's latent humanity surfaces beneath his cynical facade. There are the moments when he lets his empathy break through over the hardened exterior, such as when he gently prevents a child from seeing his mother's body in the morgue and then brings the same child to his home till his guardians arrive. Or the moment with Ansari, or when he silently grieves by the river. At its core, Paatal Lok is not just a crime thriller, it is a searing dissection of power, oppression, and survival. Hathi Ram Chaudhary is not just a hero, not in the conventional sense. He's a man who has seen too much and lost too much, and yet somehow he continues to fight battles that he knows he will not win. Season 2 reaffirms Paatal Lok's status as one of the most significant pieces of Indian storytelling. It holds a mirror to society, to its corruption, its fractures, and its unspoken truths. And in the middle of it all stands Hathi Ram Chaudhary, just a man trying to survive in the inferno of Paatal. Let us know your thoughts about Season 2 in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this video. My name is Parush, and as always, long live cinema.